City of Forest Park City Council meeting number 1417. Today is June 20th. The time is 8 p.m. We're going to start by standing and saying the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, starting on the agenda with the roll call. Will the clerk please call the roll?
Adams. Present. Brown.
Here.
Clark. Harrison.
Here.
Holt.
Here.
Moore.
Here.
Sylvester.
Here.
I need a motion to excuse Councilmember Clark.
Motion to excuse Councilwoman Clark.
I second that motion.
Moved and properly seconded. All those in favor, let it be known by the sound of voting aye. Any opposed? All right, motion passes. Item number 2 is the minutes. Has every council member received the agenda minutes?
Yes.
Are there any changes or adjustments to be made? All right, hearing none. That concludes item number 2 on the agenda. Before we move to item number 3, I want to acknowledge that a resident and a servant to Forest Park has actually passed. Our former mayor, Catherine Barrett. She was actually the city's first female and first black mayor. So I would be completely remiss if I did not acknowledge that. And if everyone would please indulge me, we're going to take a full moment of silence to acknowledge her passing. All right, thank you everyone for that. I just wanted to take time to acknowledge that, and we send our condolences to the Barrett family, and the city will have a proclamation ready for her if the family is if the family would like it. All right, so moving on to the next item on the agenda is presentations, and we have a natural gas presentation. So if our environmental director would come up, Mr. Wright Gwynn.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Yes, my name is Wright Gwynn. I'm the environmental manager for the city of Forest Park. As you recall, in 2018, the residents passed a resolution, not a resolution, a ballot initiative to allow the city to develop energy aggregation programs. And so with that in mind, the goals of these programs are to stabilize the energy costs for our residents, but also to try to lower the cost as well. In last year, we finally were able to put a contract together, a natural gas aggregation program for natural gas. We signed a contract with AEP Energy, and it was for approximately 84 cents per cubic foot of natural gas. We signed it, we had a difficult time trying to catch up with the prices of natural gas 2 years ago. They were just skyrocketing, and we couldn't get the legislation through quickly enough to stop it. But last year, we were able to get a decent price, we thought, for a 2-year fixed rate of 84 cents. Our energy consultants contacted me last week and said, we have the possibility of lowering that price to below 70 cents. But in order to do that, we need to pass some legislation allowing the city manager to enter into a new agreement with AEP Energy. And I believe you have the resolution in your packet. So unless there's any other questions, basically, we would approve the legislation, and then if the consultants are correct, and we do have the opportunity to lower the price, then we would have the legislation in place so Don could enter into an agreement. So we're trying to preempt the possibility of doing that, because they said that would have to be fairly quick in order to catch the price at the right time.
Does anyone have any questions for our environmental manager?
So this is, I'm sorry.
I would like to add one more thing. I did get the results of our natural gas contract for the first 6 months of our contract.
Okay.
And it did achieve the goals that we had hoped for. It saved the community around $71,000 total.
Wow.
And $21 per average household. So it's working, and if we can lower the price, it would work a little bit better. So,
Councilman Sylvester?
Just to confirm that, on the one resolution to update and lock in on what the current rate is as of present, and then the other resolution would then give the flexibility of the city manager to, take action to, change, dissolve. I'm trying to be clear as to, if we got one here that we're approving the update.
oh, that's for the solid waste. The plan update
Okay.
resolution, that's for the solid waste and for the county.
Okay.
That's also in your packet.
Okay.
But this one, we've already did a resolution last year to enter into an agreement. What we have to do now is redo the resolution allowing Don to act a little bit more quickly.
Okay.
Okay. Any other council members have any questions? All right, thank you for that, Wright. All right, and that concludes item number 3, which is presentations. At this time, I'm going to need a motion to amend the agenda.
I would like to make a motion to amend the agenda and take up at this time items F and G under new business, motions to appoint candidates to boards or commissions.
Second.
It's been moved and properly seconded. Is there any discussion?
Thank you.
All right, will the clerk please call the roll on the motion to amend?
Adams,
Yes.
Brown,
Yes.
Harrison,
Yes.
Holt,
Yes.
Moore,
Yes.
Sylvester.
Yes.
All right, motion to amend passes 6-0. All right, I need a motion, Councilmember Harrison.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I'd like to make a motion to appoint Ms. Sharice Wilson to the Parks and Recreation Commission for the term expiring 11/30/2025.
Second.
It's been moved and properly seconded. Is there any discussion?
No, not at this time. We'd just like to thank Ms. Wilson for taking time out of her busy schedule to join us.
Okay, will the clerk please call the roll on the motion?
Brown,
Yes.
Harrison,
Yes.
Holt,
Yes.
Moore,
Yes.
Sylvester,
Yes.
Adams.
Yes.
All right, motion passes 6-0. If you give us one moment, Ms. Wilson, we'll also swear you in after we do this next motion. So is there another motion, Councilmember Harrison?
Thank you. So, yes, I'd like to make a motion to appoint Ms. Kirsten Merritt to the Beautification Commission for the term expiring 11/30/2025.
Second.
It's been moved and properly seconded. Is there any further discussion?
None at this time. Thank you, Ms. Merritt, for joining us this evening.
All right, will the clerk please call the roll on the motion?
Harrison,
Yes.
Holt,
Yes.
Moore,
Yes.
Sylvester,
Yes.
Adams,
Yes.
Brown.
Yes. All right, motion passes 6-0. So congratulations to you both. We are going to now swear you in, so if you meet me up front, I have to take a oath to serve on the committee. Give me a second. When I say I, you'll state your name. So I, state your name.
Christine Merritt,
Do solemnly swear or affirm
do solemnly swear and affirm, do
solemnly swear and affirm
that I will support the Constitution of the United States,
that I will support the Constitution of the United States,
the Constitution of the State of Ohio,
the Constitution of the State of Ohio,
the Charter of the Municipality of the City of Forest Park, Ohio,
the Charter of the Municipality of Forest Park, Ohio,
and that I will faithfully,
and that I will faithfully,
honestly,
honestly,
and impartially discharge the duties as,
impartially discharge the duties as
state your commission.
Parks and Recreation Board.
for the Beautification Commission.
All right, congratulations. All right. I want to thank you both for volunteering and getting on city commissions. We appreciate residents just like you taking time out of your busy schedules to serve our beautiful city and continue to make it better. I know it's not easy work, or it's not even, it's not really it's a thankless job, I should say. But the residents, thank you for all of the work that you'll do on Parks and Recreation and beautification, especially because these are two critically important commissions and we need people. Do we still have openings on either of these commissions?
Yes, sir. We are, oh, I'm sorry.
Oh, go ahead,
Mr.
go ahead.
Harris.
No, you're good.
Oh, Go
Yeah.
ahead. I'm sorry. Got excited.
We do, and we do have one more application that we'll be revisiting next week. All right, so, and I'll cover the rest when it's, when we get to standing committee reports.
Okay, and to that point, I believe we still have two openings on the Economic Development Commission if people are interested. So I know people always are sending me emails and messages saying that they want to be on EDC or we need businesses, and this is how you do it. You fill out an application, you do the interview process, you take this oath, and this is how you serve. So if anyone is interested, please go to the city website, and you can see a list of all of the boards and commissions, the times in which they meet. It'll be after work hours, obviously, but thank you both for your commitment. All right, so at this time, we're going to move on to item number 4 of the agenda, which is communications from the public. So this is a time for citizens to comment on matters before council or to ask questions of concern to them. So when recognized, please come forward to the podium, give your name and address, and then state your comments or questions. Council meetings are tape recorded for ease of transcription, and comments are limited to 5 minutes. So if anyone would like to address council about any issue, anything at all, now's the time. And for you viewers at home, no, I'm joking. There's not, you can't send messages in from at home. But anyone from the public would like to address council? See a little back and forth? Okay. If not, we're going to move on to item number 5, so which is reports of standing committees.
Yes, sir. I'd like to acknowledge
Oh,
the
if we can
beautification
excuse-
committee.
I'm
so
sorry. If anybody wants to leave at this time, because this is kind of where we get into the nitty-gritty. All right. So starting with Councilmember Adams, reports for standing
Yes,
committees.
sir. Thank you. I wanted to acknowledge the presence of the beautification committee. I'm very happy that they came out to support a fellow committee member. Our committee is strong. It is growing. We are very excited. This weekend, we will be doing the judging of the yards, and that's going to be the 24th and the 25th. Also, July 10th through the 15th, we'll be doing the businesses and the industrial and businesses. So that's the churches, the apartment buildings, the hotels, et cetera, within the city of Forest Park. So you don't need to call or anything. We're just going to ride around. We're going to look at look at those properties. So get your properties ready so that we can hopefully award you with a beautification certificate. Also, Mayor, I wanted to make mention about Catherine Barrett. Not only was she the 13th mayor of Forest Park, but she also she was also Ohio State rep for 4 terms. And so had some conversation with the family. I'm sure they would be interested in a proclamation. Thank you so much for honoring her at the beginning of the meeting. And that is all for my committee report, sir.
All right, thank you. And I don't have any work session items for you. Would you like to add any?
Yes, sir. I would like to have some discussion, revisit discussion about littering. within the city of Forest Park. It seems as if that is something that has increased, or is become more visible, I guess. I'm not sure exactly how to phrase it, but seems to be, more litter and debris on our beautiful streets. Discuss some ways to combat that.
Okay, I'll go ahead and add that item. Thank you for that, Councilmember Adams. Moving on to Councilmember Harrison.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Once again, I'd like to thank Ms. Wilson and Ms. Merritt for stepping up to the plate and joining their respective commissions. And for any residents out there, we do have openings, so if you would like to, we would like your resume and your application. We'll have an interview, and we'll put you on one of these boards just to make our city that much better. Regarding any new business, I have none at the time. Just at our next work session, if we just get back to recognizing some of our businesses for a possible business of the month. The city's growing. We just recognize those businesses who chose to do their business in this city. And that's all I have.
All right, thank you for that, Councilmember. And I'm going to add that recognize businesses of the month to the next work session for you. Is there anything else you would like to add to the next work session?
No, sir.
All right. Moving on to First Vice Mayor Holt.
I do not have a report tonight, but I would like to send my condolences out to the ex-mayor's family with that. That's the end of my report.
All right, thank you, Vice Mayor. Would you like to add anything to the next work session?
Nothing to add.
All right, moving on to Second Vice Mayor, Dr. Moore.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. On behalf of the Quality of Life Commissioners, Mayor Aaron Brown, council members, and Mr. Don Jones, our city manager, staff, and citizens, including our youth, we would like to thank Interact for Health for selecting us as recipients of a $200,000 grant to fund our Project REACH. The goal of their RFP is to support community efforts to advance health justice through community power building, policy, system change, and narrative change. And so our Quality of Life Commissioners chose narrative change. And narrative change is changing how we talk about issues and who gets to talk about those issues. So we're so excited, and thank you everyone for all your hard work and brainstorming sessions. And we're going to have some great creative programs and initiatives here in Forest Park. And so I just want to say we are so happy, and again, thank you Interact for Health for your vision for communities. That completes my report.
Thank you, Dr. Moore. And I do not have any work session items for you. Would you like to add any?
Nor do not.
All right. And moving on to Councilmember Sylvester.
Yes, Mr. Mayor, that might be a hard subject to follow, but congratulations. No, I do not have an official report, but just would like to, excuse me, acknowledge my thanks to Ms. Wilson for filling in on the Park and Rec Commission. That was our last seat opening for the commission board, so I'm sure she'll come in and do some great work for the city and be a good active member for the Park and Rec Commission. I want to thank you. And with that, I have no other comments to add of a report.
All right. Thank you for that, Councilmember Sylvester. Do you have any work session?
I'd like to see if we can touch up on the subject of yard garage sales
Okay.
throughout the community. Kind of see various actions of garage yard sales, and don't know what level that they're trying to get to, but yeah, I like to.
Okay. All right. Thank you for that, Councilmember Sylvester. And that concludes item number 5 on the agenda, which is reports from standing committees. Moving on to item number 6, which is the mayor's report. I would like to report that the City of Forest Park a few weeks ago actually had our citywide cycle and walk event. It was actually very well attended. Children came out to our Central Park, and with their families, people decorated their bikes. This year's theme was a glow ride, so we actually had it in the evening. A lot of families brought their kids out with their bikes, and we had glow-in-the-dark stickers, and we had the glow-in-the-dark bracelets. It was about 150 residents who attended, so we'd like to thank our residents for coming out. enjoying our beautiful parks and strolling through our streets, looking at our gorgeous houses and the homes that we're continuing to build. So thank you to those residents. We also want to give a special thanks to Red Bike Cincinnati. This is the third year that we've had this event, and this is the third year that they've participated and provided bikes available for rent for free, essentially. All you have to do is just leave your ID and you can rent a bike for those who didn't have one. So thank you to Red Bike Cincinnati. And then also we had our Juneteenth event last Friday in our senior center, and that was actually very well attended. So we want to thank our Parks and Recreation Department for organizing that and the residents that came out there, and I attended. It was good food. It was a lot of people there, actually, but that concludes my report at this time. I would like to add to the work session items regarding personnel, so hiring matters. We are looking for a few city positions to fill, so I'll add that on as a work session item to complete. And I would also like to add the discussion or continuing discussion about food trucks, because we do have a food truck event coming up this week, actually, on the 22nd. So it is in Central Park from 6 to 8 p.m. It's our first food truck rally, but this discussion would be an ordinance regarding allowing food trucks within certain areas of the city within certain times. So I'm just going to add that to the work session, and that concludes my report. So moving on to item number 7, which is the city manager's report. Don?
Yeah, I think we've just heard a lot of great news today, particularly the $200,000 grant that I think that's going to be a great grant to, it's going to be a transformative initiative here in the city of Forest Park. And again, I want to thank Dr. Moore and her leadership and everyone else who participated in it as well, and the committee. And I just can't wait to start figuring out ways to use those monies to benefit the community here. Also, the City Cycle event was tremendous. I think we had over 250 folks there.
Okay.
So it was a great opportunity for the committee, the community to come forth. But I really want to thank those residents who lived along the route. They participated. They were very nice, and it really goes a long way to to get those folks. A lot of times people complain because they can't get out of their driveways or their streets are blocked, but we really didn't have any issues, and it was just a great event. And I think the success was because we did move the time and made it a GLOW event.
Yeah.
And I think it had a lot more kids out, a lot more families out. So, and then of course our park was full that night with the new play structure there, and so it was really a great event. We are going along the same lines for donations, and I'm going to speak a little early, but we're looking for we're approaching another organization here locally for a grant to continue the expansion of another piece of our Central Park area. It'll be a workout area, so we'll have more information on that, but even if we don't get the grant, I do want to give out a shout out to the Life Center Organ Donation Network, the importance of organ donations throughout the community. We don't want to forget that. We want everyone to take advantage of that, and we'll have more information about that as well, but we're partnering with them for an event later, I think in August. Again, we'll have more information on that, but we want to thank them for everything they do and all their support as well, and they're a good help for our community. So we got a lot of good partners here. I do want to say that the food truck event is coming up on the 22nd from 6 to 8 at Central Park. So come on out. You can come out. There'll be a DJ there. There'll be lots of fun, games, enjoy the park, but also come and support some of our food trucks and just take the opportunity to have dinner there in the park. And then we rescheduled our concert in the park for June 27th. That was rescheduled because of rain. I'm glad we did, because it would have been cut short. It's kind of hard to have amplified electric music in the rain, so the band would have definitely had to stop. And so we're hoping to have better weather. It's been rescheduled. Same event, June 27th. Come on out. It'll be a great time. The food trucks get there at 6. The band will start at 7. It's the music 7 to 9 they'll be playing, so it'll be a great event. Just coming out with your enjoy the evening. Hopefully, we'll have great weather. But other than that, if there's anything else, I'd be glad to answer any questions.
All right, thank you for that, Don. Does anyone have any questions for our city manager? All right, hearing none. Thanks, Don, for the report. Moving on to item number 8 on the agenda, which is other reports. We're going to start with our law director, Mr. John Wyckoff.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Recently, I've worked with Mr. Wright Gwynn on the solid waste bid process. Also, the ordinance you'll be looking at tonight about the magistrate. I worked with Takia on that. And then interestingly, Councilperson Clark at the last meeting asked me about the police age in Ohio, and I said, geez, I don't know anything about it. So I researched it, and sure enough, she's right. There was, and I'm sorry she's not here to take credit, but there are pending legislation both in the House and the Senate that would lower police age from 21 to 18. Couple reasons they want to do that. Of course, we're experiencing it. We're 4 or 5 police officers short. And the other big reason, not only the shortage, but you can go to the police academy, and I didn't realize this, at age 18, but then you have to sit around and wait until you're 21 to actually be sworn in as an officer. And so they want to eliminate that distinction. So that's promising legislation. Hopefully it'll pass soon. It does allow the city to maintain an age 21 requirement, or we can amend our ordinance and drop it to 18 or whatever age we want to. But it is leaving the power to us to make that decision. That's the end of my report, unless there are any questions.
Okay. Thank you for that, John. Does anyone have any questions for our law director? All right, hearing none, we're going to move on to our other report from our clerk of council, Ms. Takia Bailey.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I'd like to report that ordinance numbers 33-2023 and 34-2023, and resolutions number 26-2023 through 28-2023 were posted as required. And that concludes my report.
All right, thank you for that. Moving on to item number 9, which is unfinished business and general orders. I need a motion to suspend. First Vice Mayor.
I would like to make a motion to suspend the rules requiring the reading in full on 2 separate days and read for the second time by title only, ordinance number 31-2023.
Is there a second?
Second.
It's been moved and properly seconded. Is there any discussion?
Only that this ordinance was posted 60 days prior to this meeting.
All right, thank you for that. Will the clerk please call the roll on the motion to suspend?
Holt,
Yes.
Moore,
Yes.
Sylvester,
Yes.
Adams,
Yes.
Brown,
Yes.
Harrison.
Yes.
All right, motion to suspend passes 6-0. Will the clerk please read ordinance number 31-2023 by title only?
Ordinance number 31-2023, an ordinance amending section 31.01A of the Forest Park Code of Ordinances regarding the starting time of council's regular meetings.
So I make a motion to adopt ordinance number 31-2023.
Second.
Been moved and properly seconded. Just for everyone's edification, council meetings typically are the first and third Monday. Obviously, this would have been the third Monday, but we made an exception because Juneteenth is a city holiday to make it Tuesday. However, council always starts at 8 p.m. We've been getting a lot of feedback from residents saying that 8 p.m. is much too late for them to attend council meetings. So in order to accommodate residents who would like to come attend council and hear about all the riveting things that are happening as far as natural gas ordinances and, sorry, right? We are considering with this motion to move council to 7 p.m. Now, that doesn't mean everyone storm City Hall, you know, and come, but we would like to see more residents in here. So with that being said, I would urge adoption of this ordinance. All right, will the clerk please call the roll on the motion to adopt?
Moore,
Yes.
Sylvester,
Yes.
Adams,
Yes.
Brown,
Yes.
Harrison,
Yes.
Holt.
Yes.
Okay, ordinance number 31-2023 passes 6-0. So council will now start at 7 PM. So that means get here early, people. And we hope to see more residents come out and listen to council and voice any issues of concern to them. So moving on to item number 10 on the agenda, which is new business, I will need another motion to suspend. First Vice Mayor.
I would like to make a motion to suspend the rules requiring the reading in full on 2 separate days and read by title only. Ordinance number 33-2023 and 34-2023.
Is there a second?
Second.
It's been moved and properly seconded. Is there any discussion?
Only that these ordinances were posted 6 days prior to the meeting.
Thank you, First Vice Mayor. Will the clerk please call the roll on the motion to suspend?
Sylvester,
Yes.
Adams,
Yes.
Brown,
Yes.
Harrison,
Yes.
Holt,
Yes.
Moore.
Yes.
Okay, motion to suspend passes 6-0. Will the clerk please read ordinance number 33-2023 by title only?
Ordinance number 33-2023, an ordinance amending appropriations for current expenses and other expenditures of the city of Forest Park, State of Ohio during the fiscal year ending December 31st, 2023.
Okay, is there a motion, Councilmember Sylvester?
I motion ordinance number 31-2023.
31.
I'm sorry.
One second. Is, point of order, is there, I'm just counting the ordinances, is this supposed to be 33? Have we done 32?
Yes, we did 32 already.
Oh.
It was the last council
I
meeting,
was-
but
And
it
I
was
was on vacation, so there we go.
And my error,
So many. I
my
don't
error
remember.
with dealing on the ordinance number.
I'm just making sure, because I
Yeah.
don't have to go back and do this later. But, I'm sorry, is there a motion, Councilmember Sylvester?
Yes, for a correct motion of ordinance number 33-2023.
Is there a second?
Second.
It's been moved and properly seconded. Is there any further discussion, Councilmember?
That this appropriations is an active event that the council has worked through for various meetings and deal with expenses, especially involved with the resolve of our police department contracts. So with that, I motion that we adopt ordinance number 33-2023.
All right, thank you for that, Councilmember. Will the clerk please call the roll on the motion to adopt?
Adams,
Yes.
Brown,
Yes.
Harrison,
Yes.
Holt,
Yes.
Moore,
Yes.
Sylvester.
Yes.
Ordinance number 33-2023 passes 6-0. Will the clerk please read by title only ordinance number 34-2023?
Ordinance number 34-2023, an ordinance amending ordinance number 16-1996, authorizing the services of a magistrate for Forest Park Mayor's Court and declaring an emergency.
I moved to adopt ordinance number 34-2023.
Second.
It has been moved and properly seconded. For further discussion, this is an ordinance to change services for our magistrate, for our local mayor's court. As many residents know, we have mayor's court for things such as small traffic violations and as well as tax filing procedures. Our current, or our former magistrate, Deborah Gaines, has served the city faithfully for at least 2 decades now, I believe. And she is actually stepping down from that role. So we thank her for her service to the city of Forest Park, and we actually will be holding a ceremony for her and giving her a city proclamation as well. But with that, I would urge adoption of this ordinance. So will the clerk please call the roll on the motion to adopt?
Brown,
Yes.
Harrison,
Yes.
Holt,
Yes.
Moore,
Yes.
Sylvester,
Yes.
Adams.
Yes.
Okay, ordinance number 34-2023 passes 6-0. And I will be appointing a new magistrate to take over for Mayor's Court. And until that time, I'll have to sit in on Mayor's Court. So if people want to want me to forgive their tickets, it's not gonna happen, no. So moving on, I'll need another motion to suspend.
I would like to make a motion to suspend the rules requiring the reading in full and read resolutions number 26-2023 through 28-2023 by title only.
Is there a second?
Second.
It's been moved and properly seconded. Is there any further discussion?
That these resolutions were posted 6 days prior to the meeting.
All right, thank you for that. First Vice Mayor, will the clerk please call the roll on the motion to suspend?
Harrison?
Yes.
Holt?
Yes.
Moore?
Yes.
Sylvester?
Yes.
Adams?
Yes.
Brown?
Yes. Motion to suspend passes 6-0. Will the clerk please read resolution number 26-2023 by title only?
Resolution number 26-2023, a resolution authorizing the city manager waive formal bidding and to enter into an agreement with Innovative Global Technology Group, IGTG, for the implementation to a replacement server host and storage system and migration of all virtual machines and data.
All right, is there a motion? Councilmember Sylvester.
I motion resolution number 26-2023.
Second.
It's been moved and properly seconded. Is there any further discussion?
That this involved with the advancement of our computer infrastructure here within our city. Do understand that various point of equipment reaches a certain stage of age, and costs involved with maintaining can drive a higher cost to the city. So moving with this new technology string that's been presented, this will give security and leverage to the city for a better process of data technology over the next 5 to 7 years. And with that, I motion that we adopt resolution number 26-2023.
Thank you for that, Councilmember. Will the clerk please call the roll on the motion to adopt?
Holt?
Yes.
Moore?
Yes.
Sylvester?
Yes.
Adams?
Yes.
Brown?
Yes.
Harrison?
Yes.
Okay. Resolution number 26-2023 passes 6-0. And moving on to the next resolution, will the clerk please read resolution number 27-2023 by title only?
Resolution number 27-2023, a resolution approving the update of the solid waste management plan of the Hamilton County Solid Waste Management District.
Okay, thank you for that. Is there a motion, First Vice Mayor Holt?
I would like to make a motion to adopt resolution number 27-2023.
Second.
It's been moved and properly seconded. Is there any further discussion?
Gwen explained it today, and I hope everybody heard his explanation on the solid waste program. And with that, I urge adoption of resolution number 27-2023.
All right, thank you for that. First Vice Mayor, will the clerk please call the roll on the motion to adopt?
Moore?
Yes.
Sylvester?
Yes.
Adams?
Yes.
Brown?
Yes.
Harrison?
Yes.
Holt?
Yes.
Okay, resolution number 27-2023 passes
The other one.
6-0. All right, and will the clerk please read resolution number 28-2023 by title only?
Resolution number 28-2023, a resolution to authorize the city manager to enter into a natural gas aggregation agreement with a natural gas supplier recommended by Energy Alliances, Inc., the community's energy aggregation consultant, for a price lower than the current natural gas aggregation rate of 83.839 per CCF for a term not to exceed 36 months.
All right, thank you for that, Ms. Bailey. Is there a motion, Councilmember, First Vice Mayor Holt?
I would like to make a motion to adopt resolution number 28-2023.
Second.
It has been moved and properly seconded. Is there any further discussion?
The Ohio Legislature has enacted natural gas deregulation legislation, which authorize the legislative authorities or municipal corporation, township, and counties to aggregate the retail natural gas loads. And with this, Wright Gwynn has gone out and found a price that he thinks is a great price for our community. And with that, I urge adoption of resolution number 28-2023.
Thank you for that, First Vice Mayor Holt. Will the clerk please call the roll on the motion to adopt?
Sylvester,
Yes.
Adams,
Yes.
Brown,
Yes.
Harrison,
Yes.
Holt,
Yes.
Moore.
Yes.
Okay, resolution number 28-2023 passes 6-0. And moving on to the last item of business, is there a motion, Councilmember Sylvester?
So I motion to receive the general fund summary report as contained in the department reports.
Second.
Been moved and properly seconded. Is there any further discussion?
No further discussion.
All right, hearing none. This could be a voice call vote, correct? All those in favor, let it be known by the sound of voting aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, the motion passes 6-0, and that concludes all items, all business on the agenda. So is there any other business to come before the body? Is there any other business to come before the body?
Yes, sir, Mayor Brown. I'd like to also, and forgive me for not doing it, but I'd like to also acknowledge the Alpha Kappa Alpha sorority for their amazing jazz brunch that I attended. Please forgive me, but it wasn't this past Saturday, but the Saturday before last, as they are a organization within our city. I just wanted to be sure to acknowledge them, to say that they did a wonderful job, and all the things that they do for the community. Thank you, sir.
Absolutely. So is there any other business to come before the body? Hearing none, council meeting is adjourned.